أهلا بيكم أعزائي طلبة وطالبات الصف الثالث الإعدادي في حلقة جديدة من حلقات الساينس تحت رعاية وإشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. كنا اتكلمنا في الحلقة اللي فاتت عن light and properties of image formed in the plane mirror, and we said that the optics tools عندنا يا إما mirrors or lenses, and we started with the first type of the mirror, which is the plane mirror. Today we are going to know the second type, which is spherical mirror. At the beginning, what's meant by spherical? كلمة spherical جاية من كلمة sphere. Sphere like the ball, لها dimension. I can touch it, I can hold it. So, spherical mirror, the definition بتاعها is the mirror. الأول الميررز ديت أنواع types. But at the beginning, we have to know the definition of the spherical mirror. It's a mirror that its reflecting surface is a part of a hollow sphere. يعني إيه الكلام ده؟ Imagine that you are touching a sphere. والsphere دي hollow. What's meant by hollow? فاضية من جوه. And this sphere sometimes من جوه تبقى reflecting, shiny من جوه. أو shiny from the outer side. يبقى again, I have sphere, and this sphere is hollow, and maybe shiny from the inner surface or shiny from the outer surface. And I start to cut this sphere into two halves. Let's see مثلا ان انا I have one which is reflecting surface, inner reflecting surface. يعني بتلمع من جوه. Then I cut it into two halves. هيبقى عندي ايه؟ هيبقى عندي half of the sphere like this shape. Okay? half of the sphere in this case with inner reflecting surface. أو لو عندي sphere with outer, الشكل اللي بره هو reflecting, and I cut it two halves, I have half sphere with outer reflecting surface. طب يعني إيه بقى spherical mirror? It's a sphere or a mirror that its reflecting surface part of the mirror. زي ما أنا بوصفها كده. It's a sphere. الميرور دي is a part of a sphere in which its reflecting surface part of the hollow sphere. طيب like ايه؟ حاجة عندنا بسيطة جدا. If you go now to the kitchen and get a spoon. تعالى كده نشوف السبون. الستانلس ستيل سبون دي is considered a type of spherical mirror. يعني ازاي؟ look كده، امسك السبون في ايدك وبص فيها. هتلاقي السبون لها curved part من جوه. اوكي؟ and لها upper part عالي من بره. So البارت اللي جوه اسمه inner reflecting surface والبره اسمه outer reflecting surface. ده like بالظبط types of the mirror that we are going to know it now, which are عندي two types of mirror. The first one is called convex mirror. Again, convex mirror. Convex جاية من كلمة ايه؟ convex شكل الكونفكس يعني الاوتر سيرفيس هو الريفلكتنج سيرفيس. الاوتر سيرفيس يعني السفير اللي قطعتها اللي ريفلكتنج سيرفيس بتاعها الاوتر، طلعت منها نوع اسمه convex mirror. يبقى ايه يعني ايه convex mirror؟ It's mirror which is outer surface هو الريفلكتنج سيرفيس، الجزء اللي بره هو الشايني. طيب the other one called concave mirror. كلمة concave دي بتفكرنا بالكيف. What's meant by cave؟ كيف الكهف بيبقى عامل زي الكيرف كده. طيب if the inner surface هو ال reflecting surface I can call it concave mirror. يبقى again I have two types of spherical mirror, either concave mirror والconcave mirror with inner reflecting surface, and I have another one which convex mirror which is outer surface هي الريفلكتنج surface. وده يجي definition بسيط جدا. طيب يبقى تاني what are the types of mirror؟ number one concave mirror. الconcave mirror has another name which is called converging. What's meant by the word converging؟ يعني collecting. يعني أي light ray fall on this mirror will be collected. هيتجمع في point, and we're going to see later how. يبقى the first one is called concave mirror. طيب ايه الديسكريبشن بتاعها؟ the mirror with the inner reflecting surface. The second type is convex mirror. لها another name which is called diverging. Diverging means scattering، يعني بتوزع، بتفرق الريز، واحدة بتكولكت، واحدة بتسكاتر، بتفرق الريز. Which one is اللي بتسكاتر is the convex which is diverging. طيب الconvex we said before which has the outer reflecting surface. يبقى the convex mirror is the mirror with the outer reflecting surface, and the concave mirror is the mirror with the inner reflecting surface. Now وصلنا لpart very important which is called concepts concerning to the spherical mirror. Before we know those concepts, we have to know certain drawing and how can we draw certain drawing to know from it this concept. Let's go and see how. Now, to know the concepts related to the mirror, spherical mirror, either concave or convex mirror, we have to draw first drawing to know what are those concepts. First, the shape of the mirror is a spherical mirror, so it took this shape. Then, لما بعمل الداشز دي means إن ده it's not the reflecting surface، يعني ال inner هو reflecting surface. It's very important to know it from first. And then, this line connected between the center of curvature. This dot called center of curvature. يعني إيه center of curvature؟ I said before in a spherical mirror، يعني دي part of the sphere. So this is the center of the sphere in which the mirror is a part of it, or the reflecting surface is a part of it. With that definition of the center of curvature, and we put to it a letter C. Okay? Then, what about this line which is connected, or distance between the center of curvature and this point which is in the middle of the reflecting surface called pole of the mirror? Pole of the mirror with the letter P. What's meant by pole? It is the point and the middle of the reflecting surface. طيب the distance between the pole and the center of curvature لها اسم مهم جدا اسمها radius of curvature. Radius of curvature, like the radius of the sphere. نعرف نحسب radius of the sphere. طيب this line has another name but without mentioning distance. لو أنا قلت the straight line that connected the center of curvature with the pole of the mirror هسميه principal ax. Principal ax يعني الخط الرئيسي في الميرور اسمه principal ax. But here لو شفت كلمة straight line يبقى you have to write principal ax. إنما لو شفت distance between center of curvature and the pole you have to write radius of curvature. وخلي بالنا it's very important part here. Okay? طيب يبقى خدنا center of curvature, radius of curvature, principal ax, pole which is the point in the middle of the reflecting surface, and here this line also called ax, but it's not principal ax, it's secondary ax. Secondary ax من مكانه كده, can I define it? It's a straight line connected the center of curvature and any point on the reflecting surface except what? Except the pole. لأن لو أنا قلت البول يبقى في الحالة دي اسمه principal ax. يبقى it is a straight line connected center of curvature with any point on the reflecting surface except the pole. Now, from this drawing, you can define any one of those definitions very easily. But I have another, the last one, which is here I have dot or a point in the mid distance between the center of curvature and the pole called focus. لما بقول لحد focus يعني concentrate, و concentrate يعني collect, يبقى it's the point of collection of the reflected light ray. آخر definition here. طب what about the distance؟ لو أنا حبيت أشوف distance من هنا لهنا from the focus to the pole هسميها باسم البارت ده اسمها focal length. يبقى what's meant by focal length? It's the distance between the focus and the pole of the mirror. Okay? And كده concentrate. I'm going to ask you a question later. What about the focal length related to the radius of curvature? Let's go now and complete our part. Now let's summarize what we did in the drawing about the concepts concerning to the spherical mirror. Here the image in front of you, about all the definition that we took, and let's pass on the definition. What's meant by center of curvature is the center of the sphere, that the mirror is a part of it. What's meant by radius of curvature? It's the distance between the center of curvature and any point on the mirror. And what's meant by pole of the mirror is the point in the middle of the reflecting surface of the mirror. And what's meant by principal axis? Straight line that passes by the center of curvature and the mirror, the pole of the mirror. And finally, the secondary axis, which is the straight line, also passes by center of curvature and any point on the reflecting surface except the pole. Don't forget to write except the pole. Type. Now, let's move to the focus of the mirror. And the focus of the mirror here is the point of collection of the reflected light ray. Point of connection of the reflected light ray. كل reflected light ray بتتجمع في point called focus. طب what about the focal length? Focal length, distance between the focus and the pole of the mirror. وعرفنا نستنتج كل ده من الدروينج اللي احنا رسمناه together مع بعض. تمام؟ طيب let's now go and determine the focal length of the concave mirror by a certain experiment. Look here with me to this experiment. If there is sunlight, will rays of the sunlight called what? اسمها incident rays نازلة على one of the mirror. وهنا which type of mirror? As I said before, نشوف الداشز دي لو هي بره يبقى ال inner reflecting surface. So يبقى ده inner reflecting surface يبقى which type? Concave mirror. طب let's see كده الماتيريالز اللي هنحضرها to know how can you determine the focal length of the concave mirror. عندي materials concave mirror with inner reflecting surface, screen, ممكن screen دي تبقى white paper, and a far light source as a sun. هقف في الsun and then I get a concave mirror وابتدي اوجهها ناحية الsun و I have screen like a white paper to collect this light ray on it. This is the material. طيب what our steps؟ هنعمل ايه؟ First, place a concave mirror facing the sunlight. حطها في وش sunlight and I collect parallel light rays. هحاول اشوف light rays parallel واجمعها on the screen. Move the screen in front the concave mirror. هبتدي احرك السكرين اقرب شويه من الكونكيف mirror، اقرب لغايه I got a point, a lit point، يعني نقطه مضيئه. هي دي البارت اللي بيجمع فيها ال collect all the reflected light ray. طبعا اللايت ray after falling on the mirror هيبتدي reflect as we said before bounce back and then it collected on my screen اللي انا حطاها قدامه. Move the screen front and forward to obtain smallest and clearest image. ابتدي طبعا هي مش هتبان image، هتبقى dotted line، dot كده، dot منوره lighted dot. Then start to get a ruler and measure the distance between this lit point. كلمة lit point يعني lighted point منورة and the pole of the mirror. طب وايه هو البول of the mirror؟ البارت الميد بوينت في reflecting surface، نص reflecting surface of the mirror. Start to measure this distance. تعال نشوف الكونكلوجن. What's my observation الأول؟ Observation that the parallel light rays that coming from the sun start to reflected and collected in this point. على السكرين ألاقي lit point or lighted point on the screen. This is my observation. What's meant by observation؟ الحاجة اللي بشوفها. شفت إيه؟ شفت dotted line dotted light on the screen. هي دي اللي بينت لي ان انا my experiment is right. Then what's my conclusion بقى if I start to measure the distance between this lighted dot and the pole of the mirror؟ هلاقي the point of collection of the parallel light rays after being reflected called البوينت اللي اتجمعت فيها كل اللايت راي دي، النقطة المضيئة دي اسمها focus of the mirror. اسمها ايه؟ focus of the mirror. يبقى هي point of collection as we define it before, the point of collection of reflected light ray بسميها focus، وهي دايما بتبقى in the middle of the mirror، في نص الميرور. طيب what about بقى الديستنس دي؟ الديستنس دي هسميها focal length. الفوكال length is the distance between the focus and the pole of the mirror. طب what about the measurements as I said before؟ think وفكروا كده، هنلاقي relation ما between حاجة وحاجة هنا. Here the relation. If we calculate this distance we found that the focal length دايما half the radius of curvature. يعني الفوكال length بيبقى دايما نص الراديوس اوف curvature which is ايه؟ the distance between the center of curvature and the pole of the mirror. يعني say لو الراديوس اوف curvature عندي 6 سنتيمتر هلاقي الفوكس في النص في 3 سنتيمتر، هلاقي الفوكال لينث ايه؟ 3 سنتيمتر. يبقى وصلنا هنا لرول مهم جدا which is the focal length equal half the radius of curvature. طب لو حبيت اعكس so the radius of curvature equal double the focal length. Here is the two rules. يبقى either I can use both في calculations. Focal length is half the radius of curvature and the radius of curvature is double the focal length, and easily we can use it in calculations of many types of problems. If I got one I can get the other one. Let's go now and move in some practices like what's meant by. If you ask me question بيقول لي what's meant by دي application على الفوكال length. What's meant by the focal length of the spherical mirror is 10 centimeter. How can I solve this problem? This question. Here I have focal length وأنا عارفة الديفينيشن بتاعه. يبقى I remove the focal length and put the definition and put the number. يعني ببساطة جدا it means that the distance between the focus and the distance between the focus and the mirror, which part of the mirror? The pole of the mirror is 10 centimeter. Again it means that the distance between the focus and the pole of the mirror is 10 centimeter. طب لو أنا I asked you now can you calculate to me the focal length from this part? Yes of course. Focal length equal ايه؟ half the radius of هنا لا I want to the radius of curvature. I have the focal length. Can I calculate the radius of curvature? Yes, times 2. يبقى 10 times 2 equal 20. What's meant by? The radius of curvature of spherical mirror is 20 meter. As we did before. Remove radius of curvature and put the definition. هقول ايه؟ It means that the distance between the center of curvature and the point on the surface of the mirror which is the pole is 20 centimeter. هشيل كلمة curvature radius of curvature and I will put the number. تاني that means that the distance between the center of curvature and any pole and any point on its surface is 20 centimeter. Here I have problem. Calculate the radius of curvature of concave mirror whose focal length is 8 centimeter. عندي focal length وعايز radius of curvature. How can I solve it? First you have to put the rule. ايه هو الرول؟ rule بيقول لي that the focal length equal half the center of curvature أو the radius of curvature. Again الرول بيقول ايه؟ I have to put the rule first. Focal length equal half the radius of curvature. طب هنا هو عايز radius of curvature. So the radius of curvature is double the focal length. هحط الرول بتاع radius of curvature is the double of the focal length. So the focal length here is 8. So 8 times 2. So the radius of curvature here is 16 centimeter. طيب let's move here in another type of questions which is write scientific term. A mirror which is a part of a hollow sphere. طالما لقيت hollow sphere then I'm going to put spherical mirror. يبقى the answer is spherical mirror. A mirror whose reflecting surface is the inner surface. حدد لي هنا ال inner surface. So and also كمان مديني معلومة تانية كمان is converging the light ray. We said before converging يعني it collects the light ray so easily. It's concave mirror. Inner concave, outer convex. The mirror whose reflecting surface here اهو, this is example, is the outer surface. First, underline your keyword before you start your answer, inner or outer, then easily you can get the answer. So here the answer is convex mirror. The midpoint on the reflecting surface of the spherical mirror. Reflecting surface, the midpoint in the middle. اسمها ايه؟ اسمها pole. Remember like the pole, the north pole و south pole of the earth, عشان الارث شكلها sphere، عشان كده خدوا كلمة pole من this part. يبقى the midpoint of reflecting surface of the spherical mirror is the pole of the mirror. Located where? In the middle of the reflecting surface. The distance between the pole of the mirror and the center of curvature. The distance between the pole of the mirror and the center of curvature, and also ممكن يقول لي the distance that twice the focal length of the spherical mirror. يعني two types of question وعندهم نفس الانسر which is radius of curvature. قلنا ال distance مسافة ما بين ال center of curvature and the pole بسميها radius of curvature. The straight line here بقى you have to focus. Look to the previous one قال لي distance between. أول ما يقول لي distance أقول له radius على طول. طب if he ask me أو قال لي straight line passes by the pole of the spherical mirror and the center of curvature. Here نفس المعلومة بالظبط but بدل distance قال لي straight line. يبقى الانسر is the principal axis. With this is point of confusion. Don't be confused. لو قال لك radius distance you have to focus ان انت تكتب radius of curvature. ما قالش distance وقال straight line. عندي two straight lines. لو one connect the center of curvature with the pole so I have to write principal axis. طيب the center of the sphere that the mirror is considered part of it. The center of the sphere that the mirror is a part of it is center of curvature. From the question you can get the answer. Now let's sum up اللي احنا خدناه النهارده في الحلقة بتاعتنا. اتكلمنا على spherical mirrors ومعناها definition of spherical mirror, and we know that it's a part of the sphere in which the reflecting surface is a part of it, and we know the types of spherical mirror, either concave and convex, and we know how now to differentiate between both. If it has inner reflecting surface يبقى هي concave mirror. If it has outer reflecting surface so it is convex mirror. And we know كمان how can we draw it. If I make الشرط ديت it means the part that is not reflected. لما اعمله من بره so it's inner هي reflecting، لما اعمله من جوه يبقى الاوتر هي reflecting. Then we know that the other names of the concave or convex mirror, the concave called converging or collecting, and the convex mirror called diverging or scattering mirror. And also we know some concepts related to the spherical mirror من رسمة من drawing that we did it together, and we know what's meant by center of curvature, radius of curvature, principal axis, secondary axis, focus, focal length, and also the pole. And don't be confused between the axis and the radius of curvature. The axis الكيورد بتاعها كلمة straight line, and the radius of curvature الكيورد is the distance. And also we know how can you determine or calculate the focal length by a certain experiment, and we have a conclusion that the focal length equal half the radius of curvature, and the radius of curvature is double the focal length. And also we took many exercises to determine the concepts related to the spherical mirror, and now you can know that the spherical mirror is found around us in certain application in our life. Next lessons, we are going to see how can we use it, but you didn't recognize it well. Also, we know how can you draw these relations and make a problems or solve a problems like calculations of focal length or radius of curvatures if I have another one of those topics with me. I hope that you understand our lesson of today, study hard and well, and try to draw these cases together أو مع بعض. لازم تحاولوا to draw it very well, how to draw the convex and concave mirror and to conclude the concepts related to it by drawing, so it will be very easy. So study hard and see you inshallah next episode. I hope that you enjoy our lesson of today. Thank you so much and see you later inshallah. Goodbye.